We live in hedges. Bless them. So, the other night, me and my mum found a hedgehog in the garden. Well, sorry, that's not strictly true. I woke up in the middle of the night, right? And I got up, I saw a hedgehog. No, sorry, I heard a noise coming from down the side of the TV cabinet, and I was like, okay, that's definitely an animal. Immediately, that's an animal. It's not a person. It's a little animal, like a squirrel or some kind of. I could tell it probably wasn't a rat or anything like that, or a mouse, by the noises it was making, and it's moving. And it turns out it's a hedgehog, right? And he must have crawled in when we left the back door open while I was sleeping. And I was downstairs, and then I fell asleep, and he crawled in the back from the garden, right through the back door. And he was actually really cute. And he got up and he walked out into the garden. Oh no, my mum actually picked him up with some, I can't remember how she did it, with some like friendly way where she didn't hurt him, and like softly pushed him out into the garden, and he went on his merry way. I say he, could be she, but you know. And the hedgehog, Henry or Henrietta, whoever it was, has walked. That was a couple of nights ago. We've been more conscious of hedgehogs, right? And then I'm just like standing outside in the garden, and I can hear a noise, and I'm like, immediately I think like it coming out one of the hedges. Immediately I think that's a hedgehog coming out of the hedge where it lives, right? And we just my mum left some water out for it, right, in a little dog bowl kind of thing, and it's not a dog bowl, the bottom of a plant pot, the plate part that plant pots sometimes sit on. Anyway, she put it out with some water, and I've just moved it further I've moved the water close to where we could hear the sound coming from. It's the hedge, so we're looking after this hedgehog, because apparently the reason they come in the summertime into people's houses is because especially when it's hot like this, it's really, really hot at the time I'm recording this, August 2020, boiling hot. Especially for England, right? And they get dehydrated apparently. Who knows whether that's true or whether it's not true, but I mean, I'd imagine so, because you know, where do they normally get their water from? From the ground, from rain, right? From wherever they get it from. Don't really think about it, do you? But it's like, yes, it's a living creature. That's awesome. You know, I've been a vegetarian and a vegan different points in my life, and a pescatarian. I eat meat now, but I really like animals. I love animals still. I have a tremendous amount of compassion for them, and whilst I still eat them at the moment, maybe I won't in the future. We'll see how it goes. I've always loved animals and been respectful of animals in other ways, and some people might have woken up and tried to kill the fucking hedgehog, which would have been awful, right? No, I don't think many people would. Most people don't see. I don't think most people see hedgehogs like they might see a rat or they might see a bug, but it's a living creature still. It doesn't do us any harm. And even if someone tried to kill it, if they kicked it or something, the hedgehog spikes might have gone into their foot. But anyway, we got the little hedgehog away. It's funny actually. We looked at one of the little plant, almost like what are they called? The garden ornament characters. Like it used to be gnomes and stuff. People would have garden gnomes, but there's like a little garden hedgehog. Like sculptured like little thing we have here. Where is it? but all animals, you know. What was I saying? Even though I eat animals, like I like the Native American kind of idea, the way they had a lot of respect for the animals, even though they hunted animals, they thought of like animals as their brothers and sisters, right? And there was a guy called Russell Means, rest in peace, Russell Means. He was one of the founding members of the American Indian movement. He was a Native American Indian activist, which was what the American Indian movement was all about, uniting all the different tribes and clans from around America and Canada, I believe, and you know, in Middle America and possibly South America. I'm not sure, but anyway, that was the general vibe of it. And I've learned a lot from Russell Means about matriarchy, patriarchy, men, women, a lot about tribal traditions and their relationship to the earth. Like all indigenous people that lived that way, even the Vikings had elements of old paganism within them, that they were still connected, even though they had, you know, they were very violent and stuff. There was still like a lot of old school tribal, spiritual, magical things going on with them. Like throughout the world, like Europeans have been indigenous kind of people that live off the land before farming. They just had like one shelter, you know, like the Sami of like Russia, Finland, Sweden. I'm not sure about Norway or not, but or Denmark, but you know, around parts of Scandinavia and Russia, and I believe in some parts of Scotland even. But like there's certain types of people that lived like indigenously, like the Maoris, the Hawaiian people, Papua New Guinea people, African tribes, had a connection to the earth, right? And a lot of them had a great amount of respect for animals, but particularly Native Americans. And what Russell Means used to say was, "Hello, my relatives." And when he used to say that, he was speaking to me and everyone else, all the human beings watching the video, obviously, right? But I felt, because he used to say, about the when he used to describe animals, he used to describe the 8-leggeds and the 6-leggeds, like the insects, then the 4-leggeds and the wingeds, like referring to, and then the fish and everything, and all of the different animals and different types of animals, right? And how his tribe, particularly the Lakota and other indigenous people, whether they be from America or from any other continent, right? A lot of them used to consider these animals relatives, even though they would all have their place, and they respect nature and respect the animals and see themselves as part of nature, even though they define themselves also as human beings, which is separate from all the others. But there wasn't like so much in the way of like the way the modern Western Judeo-Christian way of like we are like so different from these, and we're so much more superior than these animals and all this shit, right? Which is an insult to animals in many respects, but like you know, the way in which these many indigenous tribes, particularly Native Americans, view them as like relatives. And he's like, so when he used to say, "Hello, you're my relatives," at the beginning of a video, it always used to feel like he's talking to the animals as well, and it's kind of cool. I just thought it was nice. I've been wanting to make a video with this title for a long time, probably for like 2 years, because I just come up with video titles sometimes, so they come out in my head. I thought, "Hello, my relatives," that's cool, and jot that down and make a video about respecting animals and stuff. So respecting animals, as I say, I'm not a vegan. I've been a vegan in the past. I've been for 18 months. I was a vegan. Before that, I ate meat. And before that, I was vegetarian for 6 months. And before that, I ate meat the first 20 years of my life. So at 20, I went veggie for 6 months. No meat or fish, but I still ate dairy and eggs, right? Didn't do it properly. Didn't do my nutrition homework properly. So then what did I do? I then went back to eating meat and fish. It tasted lovely. I felt stronger again. And then I went and at some point lost my meat eating appetite and went vegan for 18 months. But again, I didn't do that properly. You know, I was looking great, I wasn't looking healthy, right? And then I started eating fish, right? And then I started eating dairy. And then later in that year, I started eating eggs, right? That was 2018. No, 2016 was fish. 2017 was dairy. And I think 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018 was eggs. Whatever, right? Then, what did I do? Then I started to eat meat the beginning of this year. No, sometime in the very beginning of January. It may have been January 1st, I believe. I think it was January the 1st, actually. That evening I decided to have some chicken. I was like, fuck it, I'm eating meat again. I feel better, but I do want to say two things about what I respect about most vegans, especially not the ones that try to force it on everyone else in a really nasty way and shame everyone, but the other vegans, right, and the veggies, the vegetarians, the pescatarians, anyone who abstains from consuming animal products, you know, and some people extend that to clothes and items and things like that. They don't buy anything that comes from like leather, from snakes, or wool, or all kinds of stuff, right? And some vegans don't eat honey, some vegans do, right? Now I love animals. And what was I going to say? And you know, the reason I stopped doing it was because of factory farming was horrific, what they do to animals and the way they do it, right? But what was I going to say? I was going to say I respect vegans, the good vegans, right, who don't push on everyone else. The good ones who are like doing it because they love the animals, they have respect for animals. That's fucking awesome. And I feel you people. It's a wonderful thing to do. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart. And I just wanted to shout out that we should respect animals, and hopefully in the future there'll be less cruel methods of eating meat. And that's really what I want to say. Peace and love to anyone, regardless of. And you know, people like to have arguments about this all the time. They talk about veganism, vegetarianism, meat eating, hunting, animal love, and not animal love, and all that. And hating animals, and people saying some people saying to some other people, you say you love animals, but you don't because you eat them, right? And it's like everyone's doing their bit in their own way, and everyone's ready on their own journey, and everyone's ready to understand like certain things and have compassion for certain things or not when they're ready to. And some people are never gonna eat meat. And can't understand why anyone else would eat meat. Some people are never going to become vegetarian, pescatarian, or vegan, and don't understand why anyone would. And there's a whole bunch of people in the middle who have love for animals, right? We should all like respect each other's respect of animals. Just because somebody isn't vegan, right? Just because someone isn't vegan or vegetarian even, and they eat meat, they eat animal products, that doesn't mean they don't have like a deep respect for animals in terms of, in other ways, like for cats, for dogs, even for they also themselves, even the food they eat, they couldn't kill. 90% of people that eat meat are not emotionally ready to kill an animal, right? So they do, we like, even those of us that eat meat, we do care about animals, and I think that's important to say. And I think it's important for people that take the piss out of vegans and vegetarians and pescatarians to just like, you know, be a bit nicer, man. Like they're doing something awesome for a reason, because like animals are treated like shit in the way that they're killed and stuff most of the time, with the exception of like, it's arguable. Some people are just against killing animals at all, and I understand that. That's a wonderful thing. At one point I was, but I feel like hunting is a far more respectful way that people can eat meat and engage in that, and it's far more respectful to the animal. and it's far more like humans getting in touch with that part of our tribal ancestry that was very visceral and animalistic and spiritual at the same time. You know, that we don't really have in modern society. We've missed it because we don't have a symbiotic relationship with our food. You know, I've heard Joe Rogan talk about when he's hunting and he's like, I'm looking, right, for this animal, we're tracking him for 4 days, and like I feel like I'm at one with nature, like our tribal ancestors used to, and then I shoot him or her, and there's respect between me and it, right? Definitely there's respect between Joe, from Joe's point of view at least. He feels respect for the animal, and then he says there's nothing like preparing it and using it all and then carrying it home and storing it, and there's like this feeling you don't really get with anything else, that you don't really experience, which our tribal ancestors used to experience, right? But anyway, what was I saying? What am I saying here? I'm saying everyone be kind to each other, respect animals, and try not to get in too many fights over whether someone's a veggie, vegan, a meat eater. Just all do what you feel is best, and you know, you can and actually try and listen to people, open your mind, and be polite and kind as well, and open and loving towards other human beings, and let them, rather than attacking them, let them explain how they love animals if they don't eat meat. And you're a vegan, trying to take them away from the dark side and onto the good side, as you see, right? Or if you're somebody who's constantly critical of anyone who's vegan, right, even if they're not pushing on you, or just like, oh fuck that, like that's stupid, and you're not listening to any, or even if they are a bit pushy, the vegan or the veggie, like still they're doing that because they're passionate and they care about these creatures, right? So show them some respect and try and be open and loving, and respect the fact that they respect these animals enough to do this. And you know, that's what life's about: spreading love between humans, love between animals, and you know, be more open-minded. Those of you that think that are very against veganism or vegetarianism, right? And you know, most of us that have ever been vegan or vegetarian in the past have done it out of respect and love for animals. So anyway, hello my relatives, all of you watching, all the animals watching, all the dogs that are probably watching, all the beautiful human beings, and yeah, take care, my relatives of the world, earthlings. Peace and love to all.